Hytale as a game seems like it has infinite possibilities. Well, infinite for a game at least. But that also kind of makes it really hard for new players and new viewers to sort of learn more about it. So I hope today's video does actually help you learn more about Hytale, as it's quite hard to learn about a game or about anything when it's nearly finished. Everybody else around you is sort of talking about it, which was quite annoying for me because everyone was talking about Hytale. However, it turned out I knew nothing about it. Now, if you don't find this video completely useful, or you think it's useless, then subscribe to today's video. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Fact number 1. So this one's going to be about cooking, and this one is literally one of my favourite things to do in real life, so this might be quite interesting. Unlike, say, Minecraft style cooking, where you just go into the mine, get some coal, and then get the thing you want to smelt, sponge in some cases apparently, it's very different in Hytale, similar to Stardew Valley in a way, where you can grow different crops, and it even seems that there are actually different seasons in the game, or at least different conditions. There are also loads of different crops that you can harvest, and harvest in those different seasons. I suppose that some crops could perish, and also your crops aren't even safe in the season they're supposed to be planted in sometimes, as rabbits and bunnies can go and eat your crops as well, as seen in this older image. Maybe some biomes or even zones could have special ingredients hidden inside of them that you could use to make meals. Not like quests, but maybe certain mushrooms could make for different rare meals. That would be really interesting, and Hytale's just so big that even cooking can be an infinite thing. This is crazy. I need to really sit down and think about this before I make a video. In the image on screen, you can see different utensils and different things that are inside of this Hytale-esque kitchen. Maybe these could have different functions, or they could definitely have different functions, and maybe you have to use all of them to make better meals, or maybe you could even use like worse versions of them and upgrade them. Maybe that could be really cool, and maybe even certain things you could find around, I guess, abandoned villages, and I guess Kweebec villages, and all those other things. Maybe you could steal cooking utensils from them, I don't know. Do what you want, do what you please, I don't care. I'm not gonna stop you. One of the most interesting and diverse features of the game is the ability to change your skin. You can change it between hair colours, hairstyles, skin tones, clothes, shoes, pretty much everything, even eye colour, even down to like, maybe even like eyelashes at a push, maybe even eyebrows. Whatever it is, it's bound to be interesting, because here's one of the clips and it will actually show you some more that will hopefully help you learn a little bit more. The next one is Ambience, or Ambience. It's basically the sounds inside of a game, and it can also apply to the soundtrack, and Hytale actually has a really cool soundtrack. The second thing that I used in this video, the second soundtrack, was actually one of the Hytale soundtracks. It was An Earth Below, or A Planet Below, or whatever it's called. If I'm wrong, then it will basically tell me on the screen now, or tell you on the screen. Anyway, let's listen to it. Now, one of the most exciting things for me is the ability to make movies in Hytale. So, let me explain a little bit more. So, one thing I do need to mention is that the Hytale team have not mentioned anything about creative mode, but it is hinted in most of the progress updates and most of the posts. And a lot of people already know that creative mode is going to be a thing, because pretty much every game needs creative mode to be a good game. Well, there are exceptions like Stardew Valley, but we're not even going to be talking about that today. In this clip on screen, you can see a range of actors and players actually filming a movie. There might actually be a mode where it's separate from creative mode, where you can just film movies. That could be so cool, and I know that loads and loads and loads and loads of machinimas are going to pop up on YouTube when this becomes a thing. If you're enjoying today's video, then consider subscribing and even liking the video, because it really helps out with the algorithm. And if you really do enjoy today's video, then leave a comment telling me what to do in my next video. Anyway, you didn't click on this video for me to ask you to subscribe, so let's get straight back to the video. In Hytale, there are zones. Now, a common misconception is that the zones are just biomes. However, the zones actually just make up part of the game. It's basically the whole game, the whole map, the zones are. And inside of the zones, there are biomes. So there are different kinds of biomes. There's a couple ones not completely mentioned that I know of. But as you can see, most of the pictures are different that I'm showing you, and they are actually in different biomes. However, they do not match to the zones. So we come to the conclusion that there are different biomes inside of the zones. This makes for a very good place to add lore, and that's what the game has a lot of. There is a lot of lore. Now, even though today's video will be like millions and millions of years long if I was to explain all of the lore in this game, I am going to give you a couple links to explaining the lore by other YouTubers. I'm pretty sure Kweebec Corner did one, so yeah, I'll leave a link to that one if I can. And anyway, let's get to the next tip. The next tip is about mobs. Yes, there are mobs in Hytale. Now, that isn't too hard to believe because literally every game has like NPCs and mods. However, Hytale has quite a lot of mobs actually, and there's a lot of videos explaining how many there are and facts about them. So yes, again, I'm going to be linking some videos in the description if you want to go and have some kind of YouTube rabbit hole stroll or something. However, there are also smart races or intelligent races like the Feren, which is actually the name of my new YouTube channel, which is this channel, and there are also the Kweebecs, which Kweebec Corner's channel is based off. Again, there are just so many that I can't explain too many of them. However, I'm going to tell you a couple because the last tip was kind of vague, so now I'm going to tell you a bit more about the mobs. Actually, on second thought, that will be the next video. I will be telling you about all the different Hytale mobs in the next video. I won't be telling you about every single one, but instead I'll put them into categories and explain them a little bit more, like the real world mobs and mobs that are like completely mystical and couldn't exist in the real world. So yeah, stay tuned for that, subscribe, like the video, and if you enjoyed, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!